Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Irish Prepper 2A doing another impromptu video on something that I was just thinking about. Actually, I've been thinking about this for a while, but I wanted to do a video on it just to bring this to the attention of everybody that does preparing and stocking up on food, munitions, supplies, whatever. Um, what's your contingency plan? All right. So the point I'm getting with this is we're always stockpiling all this stuff. Uh, a lot of people say, you want to have X amount of food. A lot of the recommendations are you should have on hand at any given time a minimum of 1,000 rounds per firearm that you own. So, I mean, let's just say you're a single person, okay? So you have your sidearm and you have your main arm, okay? You have 1,000 rounds of each. You ever tried to carry 1,000 rounds? Right? That ammo can is not light. We have all these things spread out in our houses. We stock them up in our houses, and that's where we're going to go first. We're going to bug in. I've discussed this many times. You bug in first, you bug out last. So then you have finally lost your stronghold. You can't stay here. I mean, unless you decide to make your stronghold your Alamo. All right, that's where you're going to make your final stand. But you decide you're going to bug out. So you go and you load everything in your vehicle and try and get out on the road. And something bad is really happening. How far do you think you're going to get transporting everything by vehicle? Then you're stuck. So then you have to go out on foot. You grab what you can, and think about this for a second. You're loaded. You got your bug out bag on. You have your main arm. You have your sidearm, and you're carrying all your extra ammo. And let's just say, for the sake of an argument, that you could have it on some type of rig. A friend of mine, guy I work with, he said even in a combat situation over in Afghanistan, his loadout was only 16 magazines, 16 30-round magazines, plus his body armor of rifle ammo, which is doable. That's doable. That's not that bad. Okay, so 10 rounds is going to be 300. 10 magazines. I'm sorry, not 10 rounds. 10 magazines. It's going to be 300 rounds. And then you have another 600 that you're carrying not in a practical way. Not to mention, how many mags for your pistols do you have? Let's just take a conservative estimate that your pistol holds 15 plus 1. And you have 1,000 rounds of pistol ammo. And we haven't even discussed food yet. All right? We haven't even touched on this subject. We're just talking about defense right now. When you put it all out, it's astronomical. All right? It all sounds good on paper. It all sounds good on a plan when we're in our house. But when we actually have to go out, what do we do with all this stuff? Think about that for a second. All this stuff that you worked hard for, that you paid your good money for, that you have thought, I am, I'm in a good situation. I'm not going to say I'm in the best situation. I'm in a good situation for the situation I'm in. And, just like they say about putting money in the bank, at the end of the day, you can't take it with you. Somebody else is going to get it. So how do we avoid that? Well, that's a darn good question. And I'm racking my brain around that now, which is why I wanted to make this video and, talk to folks about that. How do we avoid that? Do we make caches and, use a geo placement to, find them again once we put them out? Which direction are you going to go? In my situation, I have family in, all across the United States. Which direction do I go? Do I go to the closest one? Or do I go towards the ones that I think that are going to be in the safest area, along with other current brothers in arms that I could link up with? So it leaves a lot to be considered about how much you have, how you're going to transport it, and what do you do with all of it? Do you help supply some of your networking individuals and help them out in the hopes that you can even meet up with them at some point? Or do you let everything sit back and to the victor go the spoils? So just wanted to make everybody aware about this, because this is something that's really been bugging me recently about, when I really got into this, a good few years back, I was all about stocking up, and now I'm starting to think about, what am I going to do with all this? And how am I going to keep it for my own personal benefit if something would go down? If you all have any ideas, if you have any suggestions, please comment on this video. Let me know. I mean, not exactly. Give me a generalized idea of how you would deal with this subject, and what your contingency plans are, how you plan to keep and maintain all these things you fought so hard to acquire, because it took a while. And it takes time and effort, and you don't want to let it go. That you bought this stuff, you acquired this stuff to keep you and yours safe and alive. So, I mean, if there's any, tips and suggestions that anybody can throw out, please feel free. At any rate, I'm going to continue to work on this and see if I can come up with any ideas, do some other research, and when I do and something practical comes along, I will do a follow-up video with this and share the info that I found. At any rate, I hope this just gives you something to think about, gives you a little food for thought on what you're actually preparing for and how you're going to handle your assets if and when the time comes to do that handling. Anyway, this video's been way too long. Irish Pepper is going to sign off, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Take care.